Hello everybody, welcome to Short Shot Archery. Anthony here, and in this video I'm going to be doing a comparison between the original Shibuya Ultima RC and the new Ultima RC Pro. So there's about a 10-year development window between these two. I got this one about 10 years ago, and well, I just got this one the other month. And I think it's going to be kind of fascinating to kind of compare, how they feel, how the performance varies in terms of, when you shoot it, does the old one vibrate a lot more than the new one? Are some of the parts still interchangeable? Can you kind of upgrade your old one if you switch some of the new parts onto it? Because Shibuya does offer parts for their sights in pieces. You can buy them kind of like a la carte type of deal. So if some things are interchangeable from the old sight to the new, maybe you could save some money switching them. We'll kind of go through that through this video as I test out these things with you. So let's first start off with just the overall look and the loud bird in the background. I would say the biggest change that I noticed right away is the extension bar itself. It's way thicker on the new Ultima RC Pro than it is on the old Ultima. This should provide a ton more rigidity, especially since it's almost not quite, it's probably like twice the amount of carbon in a sense when you get to the base of it that actually attaches onto your riser. Other than that though, you can see really close similarities in the elevation bars between the two. And even if we get into the windage blocks, there's not that big of a difference. Note, this little piece here is an aftermarket part made by A3D Archery, because the old Ultimas actually just had an Allen key piece, and honestly it was a pain in the butt. This thumb screw here makes it a lot easier and it works really well. On the new Ultima, they incorporated that in already, so you don't have to buy it aftermarket. Other than that, they just added some extra markings on the windage. And other than that, little things have changed, like some knobs and stuff went away or got smaller. It seems like they refined the design. This old sight doesn't have a taper down here. The new one does. But other than that, I would say the biggest change, just visually, is the extension. Now, the next big change that you don't really notice if you're not mounting them onto the bow is, how they mount onto the bow. The bracket basically has the same concept. It's two screws, top and bottom, just like the old one. They match up there, but how the sight actually attaches onto the mounting bracket has changed, and I think it's changed for the better. The old sight screws in from the top here, kind of interesting, and it tries to sit into these divots here. It works. I think long term it's not the most consistent design because it does seem to cause it to shimmy around more. Now for the new sight, we have the sides screwing system, and this is cool because I think it really lets it clamp on there, especially since there's a hole in the center of this knob that screws on, and that actually presses into the holes, or I guess the cutouts, because it's not quite a hole because it doesn't go all the way through, into the cutouts on the sight. That already is a noticeable improvement when you actually screw your sight onto your bow. You can feel the clamping power of this new mounting system, and that was one of the first big standouts of comparing the two sights for me. With that, we kind of covered everything we can without actually shooting them, and of course after we shoot them, we will then try to exchange some parts to see if you can kind of upgrade your old Shibuya sight without buying a completely brand new one. We'll see if anything fits. But first, let's shoot them. We're going to do the brand new Ultima RC Pro first that I have on here because, it's already mounted to my bow, and that's nice and easy to switch. And then I'll take this off my boat and I'll put my old one back on. I already have the sights and everything all matched up. And well, we'll see how they sound and just how the feel changes, if there is a change in feel. I think there should be. It has been 10 years and new technological improvements, but we'll find out, and hopefully you guys can see the difference in the video too, if there is one. All right, that was the Ultima RC Pro. Honestly, that's its usual. It seems very quiet, seems very solid when I shoot. We're gonna go slap on the old one now and see if we notice a difference. I did go through my original one and I tried to tighten up everything as much as possible, just so that it's kind of as close of a comparison as you can get. Obviously, it's not a brand new one, but it should be kind of fair in a way, even though it is 10 years old. So we'll see if it's louder, see if I can actually notice a change. I have been shooting this one now for like 2 months or so, maybe a little bit more. So I had some time behind it. All right. I personally think everything seems to jiggle a little bit more with the old sight. I don't know if there's really going to be any kind of sound difference. I'll have to listen to it when I actually have my headphones on when I edit this video. Maybe we can visually see something, I don't know. But from a feel thing, obviously you don't really feel it until the shot shoots, but there's definitely an added vibration, and the sight itself definitely feels like it shakes a lot more, especially as you shoot. But at the same time, it is a 10-year-old sight, still pretty good, still pretty robust. So now we'll probably go into just checking out some more things on it. Let's see if some of the parts exchange really well. One thing I want to do before we start trying to exchange some things and seeing what happens is we should probably check out kind of like the stiffness of this extension bar. So if we look at the extension bar and I lightly give it a twist, well, besides the whole bow moving some, but hopefully you can see there's definitely some wiggle in it. There's some, like, you can kind of torque this bar, and you can kind of feel that even though I tightened all these down, you can feel kind of a looseness in the connection between all these pieces. So we will try the same thing with the new Ultima. Okay, so now for the new Ultima. Interesting. Now this is actually pretty interesting. So the front here seems to move a little bit more, but it all seems to be connected like so much better. I could feel some like actual play in between the connection of this part here with the extension. For this, it feels like it's all moving as one piece, but it does seem to actually move a little bit more when I try to rock it back and forth. But when I shoot with this sight, the whole thing feels a lot more solid than the old one. So that's kind of a really odd effect. Maybe it has to do with the taper in this. But at the same point in time, I'm not exactly sure on that. But well, there you have it. That's one difference so far. But this one definitely feels more solid. Oh, and this is the stiff extension. Shibuya is making these new ones in 2 different stiffnesses. I have the stiffest one. I have the A, and I don't see why you would want the B. I think that would be kind of silly. But anyway, if you get the B, that's up to you. So now let's go and change out some parts. So first off, and maybe the most important one, I don't know. It depends on the archer, but we're gonna go and move the new windage block up. Does the old Shibuya windage block fit on the new Shibuya sight? Well, it does. And it clicks on as well. Does it adjust though? Does it micro adjust? Let's see. I think I have jammed the system up with too many sight blocks. Let's try just the old one. All right, you can feel it click on there. Yeah, okay. So it does micro adjust still. That's pretty cool. You cannot micro adjust two at once though, sadly. Don't really know why you'd do that, but it doesn't seem to work. So that's really cool. Kind of an added benefit, because if you have an old Shibuya, then you could take this and put it on the new site if you get a brand new one, so you can have a backup already there. Of course, if you go and sell the old one, you won't have a windage bar to sell with it. But, you know, you never know. I personally am using my old Shibuya as my backup site for my backup bow. So, you know, you do what works best for you. Next up, I kind of want to see if we can take this off and switch it out with the elevation bar of the old site. So run the new extension with the new locking mechanism over here. Run all this with the old elevation bar and see if it matches up. All right, so this is pretty cool. It actually worked. This is my old elevation bar with my old windage block on it. I only switched out the back half here, so this is the new extension with the new bracket that mounts to the elevation bar. So you can mix and match at least those parts from the old Shibuya RC and the new Ultima RC Pro. This could be kind of good, because then, you know, if you are really interested in having the new bar here and the new mounting point on how it matches up, you can I believe you should be able to buy those separate pieces. I know they have in the past. Watch them change this now that I make a video on it. But they are interchangeable, which is pretty sweet. Granted, the new stuff does look pretty slick, but you can make this work and save money, which is pretty awesome. And you're going to get a similar result. Also, with that point, if you have an old Shibuya site and say something breaks, well, they're not making them anymore, so you could buy the newer parts and kind of switch things out where you need them, so you just don't have to throw out your old site if something were to happen to it, where something gets damaged or whatever. Okay, so there you have it. That was a comparison between the old and new Shibuya sites. I personally still think the new one is better. I actually noticed a little bit of an improvement in my shooting. Then again, could be that whole, it's brand new thing. I don't think so, because, it definitely feels more solid. The sight block feels more solid. I think the adjustments on it, since they are 10 years newer, are so much more dialed in and fresh. When I make clicks, it's definitely clicking and changing my sight position. The old one probably was working, pretty well, but sometimes I'd swear there would be little inconsistencies in it, and I think that was just from, the age of it, years of use. It does sit on an archery field in all different kinds of environments, especially when it's, baking on a field at like 105 out, because, shooting archery in the middle of a heat wave, things like that. I think it does get to the product after a while, and hundreds of thousands of arrows have flown past that old site. But overall, I think this was really cool. I was excited to do this. I was going to do it anyway, so I wanted to share it with you. And really, at the end of the day, if you have an old site, you could probably upgrade it some. If you want to buy a brand new one, I'd still definitely recommend the new one. And yeah, other than that, happy shooting, and thank you for watching. I appreciate every single one of you guys. You're awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll see what I come up with next. I still have some I got a lot of videos from SoCal Showdown that need to go up, so I'll be working on those as well. But I wanted to get this out to everybody, and again, thank you for watching and happy shooting.